Friday here on UCY.TV. You are listening to live radio. This is Boiler Room. I am your host, Jim Funke. I will be with you for the next 60 minutes tonight on Friday night. And Brandon Turbeville comes up after me, his replay of his Monday show. Still good listening. Good evening, Lance, out there on the East Coast. How be you?
Good evening, good evening.
How's everything out there? Are you still trudging through the snow? Okay.
Just the side streets.
Just the side streets, huh?
Just the side streets. The other streets are just fine. Oh yeah. Yeah, everything else is melted off. They put all the chemicals down that are, I'm sure, great for the waterways.
Oh yeah. Make them fish have 3 eyeballs and shit.
You know, being below flood zone, we're all in a flood zone here, and stuff goes right off into the waterways.
Yeah, I think you're in a tsunami zone too, if I'm not mistaken.
I am.
You're in all kinds of zones. You're in a constitutional free zone. You're in an international trade zone. Damn, you're in a military zone. You got all kinds of zones coming out you.
Hey, at least I'm free.
Yeah. As long as you do what they tell you.
That's right.
That's right. You are free. Right. You are free to not think. You are free to not act unless you are completely authorized by the federal government.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Normal American.
And don't worry about Fukushima.
Fuku who?
All right. Before we get off on a tangent rant, let's jump into Smoke'em's Market Minute. What's happening on Wall Street? Up, down, sideways, what?
It's a great day to be a banker elite. But I think every day is a good day to be a banker elite. We're in the red. I mean, the Dow again, NASDAQ again, S&P, all of them in the red, except the bonds.
We're getting the green weenie.
Yeah, exactly. We're getting the wiener. Bonds, though, just like Manarino was saying, it went, the yield lowered today, which was good, for rates. So, I mean, I was able to lock one in at 4.25 today, and it paid back about 0.5 point. So, it's the fictitious market is doing well.
Well, great for Wall Street.
It's really great for Wall Street, but if it's so great, why have there 3 big bankers committed quote unquote suicide all in the last week?
Yeah, 6 days. Yeah.
Yeah. Deutsche Bank,
2 from JP Morgan.
And 2 from JP Morgan and Chase. One of them, fell off of a roof, and one of them was 33 in his car.
Stories.
Yeah. So, if we were in a 08 or, 1912 in that era or something like that, people were jumping off the roofs.
Yeah, but the stock market was in the toilet. The stock market's not in the toilet yet.
So what's going on? Is it, do they know something or
insiders talking to somebody maybe?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Spill the beans and somebody spilled them out a window.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think one guy hung himself in his closet. I don't know what the dude did today. I didn't read I saw the headline today. I didn't read the story though. I don't know what happened.
He just in his car? That was the one they just found in the car, wasn't it?
Yeah. So one guy dives out a window. One guy chokes to death on his own exhaust, and one guy,
was found dead at the side of the highway in Washington State. Police said the death appeared to be a suicide.
He's sitting in his car on the side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
Did he have a hose stuck in the window?
He probably had a hybrid. It took a while.
Did he, oh, never mind. I mean, if there was a hole in his head, then he probably had a gun. Or somebody made him eat a gun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what, you'll never hear about it. We'll never hear about this again.
Okay, so one mysterious death on the side of a highway in an automobile, one mysterious hanging in a closet, and one guy dives out a window.
Yep. And that's just been 6 days. So let's see how many more of them come. See how many more we can talk about either on After the Last Cup or even on Monday, see what's going on.
Yeah, we'll wait for them headlines, man. Oh, by the way, everybody, After the Last Cup will be starting up again tomorrow night. Jules is going to spend her Saturdays with her munchkin, so she gave the reins to me. I will be hosting After the Last Cup now, but it's back on every Saturday. Yay.
Mm-hmm.
9 to midnight Eastern. Yay.
That's right. First one of the year, isn't it?
Yeah, it'd be the first one of the year. We haven't done anything since the first of the year. So.
Yeah, tomorrow, February 1st.
Whoopee. All right, so is that your Smoke'em's Market Minute? Are we going to jump into videos now?
I got a couple things else.
Spew it.
I am. Earnings. Now, see if you see any coincidences here, or not coincidences, but, like party patterns here. Earnings, especially in the tech sector, continue to drive trading. Amazon.
That's fast.
Exactly. Amazon lost 11%. Investors apparently grown less forgiving about the company's pattern of sacrificing profits for sales.
Weren't they just going to start selling you shit before you ever bought it?
Yeah, that and is that the drone deliveries?
No. I know they were going to do the drone delivery thing, but wasn't there, I don't know if it was eBay or if it was Amazon or somebody out there was going to deliver the shit to your house just because you were looking at it online. Mm-hmm. And let you play with it for 3 days or something like that and then pay for it. So they were going to pre-sell you stuff.
I do remember hearing about that. We'll see as that.
I digress. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes on. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. 6. Google gained 4%. Facebook added 3%. Microsoft, Yahoo, and Twitter all rose by 2%. And Apple edged barely higher after 4 straight down days. What all those companies have in common? They're all working with the NSA.
Yep.
I mean, they're all
taking it in the shorts.
Yeah, exactly. So, coincidentally, those are all the companies that are doing good while just about everybody else is doing, not so good. And then
they're losing a lot of overseas stuff though. Boeing lost that plane contract to Brazil because of the NSA spying thing. They went and bought French aircraft or something. Mm-hmm. So anyway, go ahead.
And my last story, investors who believe in the Super Bowl indicator. Are you familiar with the Super Bowl indicator?
Is that the doggies that run up to the bowl?
Nope. No, but there is a gorilla?
That one predicted, guess who?
Seattle, wasn't it?
No, the Broncos.
Oh, did it? Well, the zoo, I guess it's the National Zoo there in Washington. They have a gorilla and they put the two things and I guess he ran straight to the Seattle one.
They used to have an octopus that would predict him, but I think it died.
You're right. And a seal or something like that.
Yep.
But the Super Bowl indicator, is something to do with the stock market. And it's actually been correct 81% of the time. Now, let me just expand on it.
Is that pre or post manipulation?
It doesn't really classify that one.
Okay.
But the legend of the Super Bowl indicator states that if a team from the pre-merger NFL wins which is the National Football League, wins the Super Bowl, the markets will rise that year. Keeping in mind that this has been right 81% of the time over the last 40-something years. If a team from the pre-merger American Football League wins, a bear market is in store. So Wall Street, just to break it down, the Seattle Seahawks to win, because if they win, then the market is supposed to do really good this year. So seeing as how Denver is favored by 2.5 points, we kind of know where the market's going, so probably Denver's going to win. But
get out. Get out of the market. Get out. Sorry.
Yeah. But I just thought that was an interesting story as I was reading through my financial stuff today, and all the Wall Street people are out there betting on Seattle. But I'm going with Denver because The Simpsons said so in 2006. So.
And it was 19 to what, 17?
10. 19 to 10.
No, because it added up to 33. It was 19 to 12 or something.
You're right. It did, didn't it? 19
to
14. 19 to 14. Yeah, 19 to 14. Yep, that's right. 19 to 14. Okay. So that's my prediction. I'm going with it because the Simpsons know everything. They predicted 9/11.
Ding. All right.
because the Illuminati's plans don't work unless they put it out there and right under our noses.
That's right.
And that ends my financial part of it. So I know we always like to hear Scott after that.
Yeah, we'll jump over here and see what Scott's got to say, because he's always salient. And I know we listened to it earlier today, and I remember half of it, but not all of it. So,
oh, he was really good today.
Mm-hmm. Where are you at? There it is. Healthy crimes.
Hello, this is Scott Nessa Hyperport. Here are the quotes of various items for today. First, Baltic Dry Index. The Baltic Dry Index, admired when rising and ignored when it drops, has collapsed by over 50% from its December highs and is back to August lows. This global trade barometer is simply tanking. Next, losing confidence. Officials in a certain country announced that the Chinese currency will now become legal tender. So what country did that? Zimbabwe. Yes, the country that was the poster child for hyperinflation and the butt of jokes in economic circles is now dropping the US dollar for something more stable. Adding to this is the fact that the dollar's share of global reserves has slowly fallen from roughly 75% in 2001 to just over 60% today. Next, home sales. Pending home sales collapsed 8.7% month over month, which is the worst since May 2010. So, what are the so-called experts blaming? The cold weather. Who would have imagined that global warming was needed to improve the economy? Where's old man bear pig Al Gore when you need him? Next, established by the state. A provision in Obama says that subsidies shall be available from exchanges established by the states. Since 34 states have not established exchanges, the IRS is spending federal tax dollars to create federal exchanges in those states. If the courts rule against the IRS, then the Obama scam dies. If the courts rule for the IRS will be allowed to spend tax revenue without congressional authorization. Next, top healthcare source. It turns out that 50% of physicians reported that they have consulted Wikipedia. Yikes! Next, California navigators. It turns out that 53 Obama navigators in California are convicted criminals, 3 of them with records of significant financial crimes. Navigators are also likely to work with a population that is more vulnerable than average. Of course, this was expected since Obama was passed by unconvicted criminals without reading it.
Unconvicted criminals.
Eric Holder publicly states that he regrets not releasing pictures of the slain children at Sandy Hook Elementary. At the same time, he states he knew nothing about the Obama supporters involved in the IRS investigation. This is the chief law enforcement officer of the U.S. government? Next, DHS on the job. In their never-ending job to terrorize or safeguard Americans, Department of Homeland Security agents seized counterfeit NFL jerseys. Yes, they have saved America from fake jerseys. Finally, please prepare now for the escalating economic and social unrest. Good day.
Like they don't have anything better to do, right? They got to go find some knockoff jerseys. I wonder if they found any Rolexes or Izod apparel while they were in there.
You know, it's funny. My parents were stationed in Seoul for 8 years, and they would go down to the markets, and they would sell them, and the sign said this: genuine imitation Rolexes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Genuine imitations.
That's kind of like genuine plastic.
Mm-hmm. Genuine cubic zirconia.
Mm-hmm.
What the Zimbabwe story was very interesting. That they're dropping the dollar as their, I guess, the reserve currency to back theirs, because we know that there's no gold. But it's interesting. Reserve currency status obviously doesn't last forever. In 1400s, Portugal was the reserve currency. Then it went to Spain for about another 150 years. Then it went to the Netherlands in 1700. Then it went to France in 1750 to about 1600. Then it went to Britain. And then obviously after Britain was the dollar, right after the stock market crash. And then they initiated the Federal Reserve, and we've been the reserve currency since then.
Wow, man, the empire bounced around quite a bit, didn't it?
It has, yeah, it has. So since 1400, there's been 6 reserve world currencies, if you will. Well, not world currencies, but reserve currencies.
And it's switching to the yen.
And it's yeah. Whatever it's going to
be. Whatever you want to call it. I thought it was going to be the renminbi, but they're going to keep the renminbi in country. So.
Right. They're talking about creating a whole new single currency for all nations is what I was reading today.
A special drawing right, SDR or something like that. strategic drawing right, special drawing right, something like that. It's going to be out of a basket. So they're going to take a basket of currencies, find the average, and then that will be what the SDR is set at. And then you have to either take your hit or get your bonus out of that. So
yeah, stay tuned to us.
It's going to be
that develops.
You know, I mean, how are they going to do a strategic drawing right or a special drawing right when all the currencies have different values around the world? I just don't figure out they're going to do that. How are you going to come up with an average? You know, some people are going to make out like bandits and other people's going to take it in the ass. What is that, like spreading the wealth?
Yeah.
I don't know. I might be completely wrong on how they're going to do that too, so we'll wait to find out. So you want to?
Sure.
I didn't listen to Manarino today. Did you?
I did. He was pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good.
All right, we'll throw it out there then. If you want to jump in or cut it off, or we'll just holler.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Greg Manarino. Why today? It is Friday, January 31st, 2014.
God, we're already out of January.
All right, people. Let's talk here. We're seeing more of this emerging market turmoil. And again, I went over this in a video that I did just yesterday. This is without any doubt being deliberately created by the Federal Reserve. They understand this. By pulling the liquidity from the global markets, they were going to cause more distortions in these markets. Subsequently, a lot of red flags are going up in the emerging markets and also with the emerging market currencies. This is all part of their plan, people. Understand, it's very simple. And I went over this again in the video that I did yesterday. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. By the Federal Reserve allowing these events to take place, this is going to cause a shift, and I think it's going to be huge. Let's call it a seismic shift into U.S. bonds, into the U.S. equity market. Why? Because the U.S. equity market, people, is the best looking lady at the ball at this time. And this is exactly what the Fed is trying to create here.
How can that be, man?
I have no doubt about it.
The skinniest kid at
let me tell you what I'm doing again. I'm on West Coast time here. When I woke up this morning, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was down 200 points. The first thing I did was increase every single position I have. Currently, go to my site, traderschoice.net. There's a link right down here. I did close one yesterday. That was 3M. I did take a loss on that.
Ooh, man.
But I am very certain that this is how this will play out here, and I want to take advantage of this. So I've been buying these dips, people. I don't believe this is going to continue. Just as another heads up.
If he sold 3M, I wonder what's getting ready to happen to that company. That's a huge, huge company.
They could have just been hit with a lawsuit or something like that. You know,
they're like GE big.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they are.
I had said yesterday, I felt that we were at a bottom. I still feel that way, but that doesn't mean it's going to go right back up. I mean, I got a few emails today. You have to understand, people. You're never going to get in on an equity at the best price or out at the best price. It's always going to bounce around there. That's just the way it is, no matter what it is. Currencies, you name it, anything. So please, don't be a minute man. I think you ladies know what I mean. There's no such thing as instant gratification here. Sometimes you have to be patient and you have to wait for these things to develop here. And that's just the way it is. I have not changed my outlook here. I am still bullish here. Again, the dynamic taking place, it's in our faces. It couldn't be any more evident. You got huge outflows from the emerging markets. You got huge outflows from currencies as well, emerging market currencies. So where is this cash going to go? Is it just going to sit around nowhere? Of course not. It's going to look for someplace to go. It's always the same story. Any of you that have been involved in the markets as long as I have, you realize this. And this is how you can take advantage of it. But again, sometimes you just got to wait here. So again, I'm putting my money where my mouth is here. I have added to every single one of my positions today. Again, when the market was down about 200 points, I increased my positions. At the time I am doing this video, the market is down only 88 points after being down 230. So again, in the video that I did yesterday, I said you can expect volatility. Well, we're seeing it. So I hope all of you are paying attention to this. It's so important. Let's talk about a couple of other dynamics here. The U.S. bond market is flat right now. There's nothing going on there. And I always tell you to watch the bond market because that's where the real action is. Everything else really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, because this whole thing that I've been talking about forever now is going to take place here in the bond market. Today? People watch the bond market.
Go down?
The debt
market. It went down, which is
and
good.
Again, the Fed is deliberately creating an environment here
where pretty much.
People are going to seek these safe havens getting into U.S. Treasury bonds because they're pulling back their purchases. We understand this. So they need someone else to take up that slack. So they're creating this environment purposely, without any doubt. And this absolute turmoil here in the emerging markets is going to cause investors to look to the U.S. equity market.
Fools.
And that's why I think it's going to.
That ain't no shit, man, because this is like,
I don't mean bounce right back today.
It's like riding a roller coaster.
Watch over the next weeks.
Yeah, and the Dow did end down 150 points, so 200 to 88 back to 150.
There you go. So I'm not saying I'm going to hold.
And some guys live their lives in 24 hours,
this guy does.
I've been telling all of you, I may be adding to my positions. I've been doing that. I've been buying these dips. Look, in fact, I was just texting a friend of mine this morning. Either one of two things is going to happen to me.
Okay, so we're done with Greg. Sorry, Greg. Had to cut you off there, man. He repeats himself way too much, man. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so that's the whole market update. And like I was just saying, it's a roller coaster out there, people. You're going to lose, you're going to gain, you're going to lose, you're going to gain, you're going to lose, you're going to gain. Still at this point, like we've been saying for the last week or so, if you took it in the ass in 2008 and you left all of your stuff alone, you've gained back your losses. Get out.
And it's funny because, I've been, as I was listening to Rush Limbaugh today, they had that commercial on there. I'm a right-wing man. I'm not falling for a thing they say. I just like to
I know you just
have
listen for
both
the funny.
sides. If you're going to talk about the opposition, you got to at least know what the opposition is talking about. So,
that way
I
know
can
your
talk
enemy,
about
man.
it. You got to know them. But the number of commercials again that I heard today, and this was almost a quote. I'm paraphrasing. You've got back everything you lost in 2008. Now's the time to come to our seminar and find out how to cash out now before it's too late. Boom.
What?
I mean,
you heard that on a mainstream
on
EIB network?
In fact, if you go to
holy crap, have they been listening to Boiler Room? Rush, are you listening? Are you listening to my show?
I don't recommend this, but you can go to Rush Limbaugh's website and go to their advertisers.
Knock that off.
And you can always hear all of his commercials because that's how it works. And you can go for one of these financial companies and listen to the commercial.
It's real easy.
And
to get
it
out.
said,
all you gotta do is call your Ed Jones guy or whoever the hell you got, Scott Trade or whatever, and say sell it.
Yep.
Sell it and send me a fact check.
Exactly.
Pay my taxes out of it. Yeah. Pay whatever taxes I owe to the government and tell them to F off.
Well, and you're not going to have to pay taxes on it until next year at most of them. They're not going to, they'll give you a 1099.
You can choose to go ahead and send it off and get it over with.
You can.
And take that money and transfer it into gold and silver because it's the last time you'll ever pay taxes on it.
Yeah, that's darn sure. But if there's a collapse and everything else, I think the IRS will be jacked up anyway and they won't be able to collect and.
That's what I'm saying, man. But and hey, how many times have you seen it online? How many times have you seen it? How many times have you heard Stefan Molyneux or any of these other voluntarists or anarchists or whatever they want to call themselves now? I believe in anarchy, but no, I don't like labels.
It won't work. But go ahead.
Shut it.
It won't work.
What can they do if none of us pay taxes? What can they do if we all say no? What can they do? Can they come arrest us all? No. Can they? No, they can't do it. They can't do it. What can they do? What can they do? Wag a finger at us?
garnish your bank account, but I mean, it's written in the tax code that you pay taxes on dividends and profits, which means if you're not a business owner, you don't have profit. Right. Everybody that's ever gone up against the IRS on this little one paragraph where it talks about your taxes are based on revenue and profit, and dividends, profit, everything else. As a W-2 wage earner, you ain't making no profit. I mean, there is no profit in that.
Right.
So
it's a scam. It's always been a scam. It's a scam. It is voluntary. It says in the tax code that it is voluntary. Now, granted, it's at the point of a gun. They'll come take all your shit if you let them. But I've seen it online so many times on Facebook, 100,000 times since I've been on Facebook, man. What can they do if we all don't pay? What can they do? They can't do anything.
Well, I mean, there's a problem as most people get returns. You know, they pay weekly or they pay monthly, but you know, that's all there is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can pay by the quarter if you want to. You know, you can pay ahead of time, you know, send in your quarterly taxes before you file at the end of the year or in April or whatever. I used to do that when I was driving a truck and I cursed every one of those checks, man. You know, some of them had a little something on them, but you know, I mean, that's just, you know, I hate it. I hated it. I hated it then. I hate it now. I can't believe that you have to pay to live on this planet.
But you're never going to get an employer to not withhold taxes. I mean, unless the employer
if you're a contractor, right, and you're getting paid cash money.
Yeah, or 1099.
Right, that's getting cash. That's contract work, contract labor, contract service, whatever.
The problem is you can't go buy a home. You
got no credit.
Well, you know, even if you have credit, you can have the best credit in the world, but unless you got 2 years worth of tax returns that I can pull from the IRS, you don't make any money because the only money that you make is what you report to Uncle Sam. If you don't report to Uncle Sam, you don't make any money. Period.
There's ways around that too, though. There's ways around everything. I'm just saying, you know. Anyhow, cause it's coming close to that time of the year, you know, it's February.
You'd have to be a self-employed person, got paid in cash, and then just still claim that you made nothing. That's the only way you'd ever get around it is quote unquote tax fraud.
Tax is a fraud though, man. You know, I don't know. That's just my personal belief. Yeah, it's it's all a scam. You know, it's just a way for the government to take more money. How many taxes are out there, for Christ's sake? Look at the tax code. I think JJ he was talking about laws, but he was talking about, you know, some of these things that you go try to print up the tax code. How long is it? It's going to be 11 feet tall, I think, or something like that. If you printed it up, every page of it, it's 11 feet tall. Even people that do your taxes, they don't know what the hell that code is. Everybody's guessing at it. They hope they don't get audited. You know? It's ridiculous. And I'm telling you right now, the government is expecting X when April comes, and they're not going to reach that target because nobody in this fucking country is working. So anyway. Whoops, what the hell was that, dude? Fall out of your chair?
Yeah, hold on a second.
So anyway. It's steady getting worse, and I'm watching it happen right before my eyes. You see, everything's getting worse. Everything is. Are you okay over there, man?
Yeah, I'm back. My daughter just came home.
Oh, right on. I was just saying, everything's getting worse. It's steady getting worse right before our very eyes, man. Over the last month that you and I have been talking, it's getting worse. Prices of everything are going up. You know, I'm going in and doing all the grocery shopping and stuff. I'm watching these prices go up. It's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, what's more amazing is the sizes of packages stay the same, but the innards, keep getting smaller. So even if your prices aren't going up, you're getting less for your money.
Right. Hidden inflation is what they call that.
Correct.
And the ball just keeps rolling down the hill, man. It just keeps rolling down the hill. Nobody's doing shit in this country about anything.
Well, I've lost a few friends on Facebook this week because these Democrat and Republicans friends that I have out of the 3,000 people I have on my Facebook, which I'm down to about 2,500 now because people don't like the truth, man.
I've never even had over 100 friends on Facebook. I'm stuck at like 70 something.
It was my old Mafia Wars account. So I had 5,000 friends there at one time, but I've whittled it down and now it's down to about 500 people have deleted me over the past 6 months because people don't like the truth. If I post puppy memes and kitten memes all the time, people would love me, but
just go borrow those ones from Lee Camp. They got the pretty picture of the doggy on the side, and then it has a factoid right next to it that says the puppy's just here to get you to pay attention.
Exactly. But I've lost a bunch of friends, probably this week and last week, and I go back to the thread that I commented on, and I can't find it anymore because they removed me. But they're Democrats, and then they're talking about Republicans or how good Obama's doing, or most of them are Tea Party Republicans and they're bashing Obama and then praising Bush out of this, out of the next, out of one side of their mouth. And so I'm like, you do realize that Bush is the one that put the Patriot Act into place to take away all your rights that Obama now has. He has the Patriot Act. You do realize that, right? That, they're all corrupt. If all politicians are against high taxes, why do we have it? If all politicians are against, outrageous debt, why do we have it? If all politicians are against everything that's bad, why does it keep happening in both parties? Because they're both pieces of crap. And then people don't like that and they just delete me. They won't even argue back with me because
they have no argument.
They have no argument. So they just.
That's when people are confronted with the truth and they don't like what they hear, they turn into a 5-year-old. That's exactly what happens. They turn into a 5-year-old. They get all huffy. They cross their arms. They hold their breath and then they click delete. Because they can't scream back. They got nothing. They got no retort.
Well, I get pulled back all the time because I'll try, what are the things that you don't ever talk about with somebody? Politics or religion. I mean, that's
or money.
Or money. And I'm like, no, man, I want to talk about it.
All the shit we hit on this show.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, no, man, don't forget that. I'll ask you straight out. I don't like to talk about that. What do you mean you don't like to talk about that? How can you have an opinion and then not share it? You got
something to hide, man? You need the NSA up your ass. What's up?
I'm voting for Romney or I'm voting for this. Well, why? Well, I
saw something that said Romney was running in 16 for Christ's sake, man.
All right. I'll say this. You probably don't have access to Netflix, but maybe.
Hell no.
All right. And I knew you didn't, but if any of the listeners have access to Netflix and they go Google that MIT, I think it's called MIT. The camera crew followed him around for before the election, after the election.
Yikes.
And I'll say this, Al Gore, after he lost the election, he went on all the talk shows. Dude, that cracker is funny. I mean, he was
he's stupid funny.
Man, I'm telling you though, he had a personality, he joked, but when you saw him in all the things,
dude.
No. I was a Democrat back then, but I was like, look, if he would have come out with this persona, he would have gotten elected. And that's how,
stiff, dude. It doesn't matter.
That's how Mitt Romney is though. Now that people have seen a different side of him, he has a pretty good chance, especially with this Chris Christie revelation coming out today that he knew about it. One of the guys that he fired said, no, man, he's lying. He knew
and I got the proof too.
Yeah, that just came out today.
Under the bus you go, Chris. Well, maybe it's a 4-wheel drive. Well, maybe it's a tank. Because it's going to have to be something big to get over that bad foot.
Again, it's whoever the elite one in there.
He'll go
and if
home
they
and eat a
want,
gallon of Breyers and be all right.
if they want Hitlery in there, Hitlery's going in there. There's nothing you can do about it. But I think Mitt Romney would have a much better chance because there were a lot of Republicans that wouldn't vote for Mitt and they voted independent or just didn't vote. Personally, I think the immigration that they're talking about, that the Republicans are backing for some reason, I think is the downfall of the Republican Party.
Okay, we need to go on down the road because nobody that listens to this network gives a shit about Republicans or Democrats.
No, I mean that's what I'm saying. They're losing it all. It's
but there's
all
nobody
falling
here that
apart.
cares.
The whole thing is falling apart.
Yeah.
But we're all affected by it, whether we care about it or not. And
right,
that's why
I got you. I understand completely, but I don't like talking about it.
It's sadly, it's stuff that affects us. So, and that's why I do watch it, so I can find out what's going on and then be able to talk bad about them.
That's cool. It's just, once it's all a game, and I don't want to give it any airtime.
But see, that's how I try to.
I'm going to have to, but
no, and that's how I try to wake people up because I can't try to convince a Democrat or Republican to think my way unless I know how they're thinking.
Right.
Know your enemy, and that's just I kind of try to follow up on everything. I'm sure Mike, SLC Mike, is the same way. I mean, he probably knows a little bit, but maybe not.
Yeah.
It's all a joke.
I would guarantee you. Well, I'm not. I don't know. I would venture to say that about 80% of the people that listen to this network don't vote anyway.
And I was when I moved, and they said, "Do you want to register to move your voter card?" I was like, "Yeah, mail it to me. Yeah, mail it to me. I'll fill it out and put it right in the trash."
No, she asked me. Yeah, when I went to get my driver's license here, she said, "Do you want to register to vote?" I said, "Nope."
Nope, you're never going to find me. I said, "Can I unregister to vote?" Does that get me out of jury duty?
You're still going to get the mailers, right? And I said, "Yeah, I know I'm going to get the mailers. It's cool."
I said, "Does it get me out of jury duty?"
Yeah, no, it registers you for jury duty. Man. That's
Exactly.
how they pull from that motor voter registration.
Which is why I wasn't a registered voter until I was 30 something.
No shit.
Yeah. Because I was scared to death of getting jury duty because I didn't want to, have to go out and go to a jury.
Yeah. Screw that. It's easy to get unselected though, man. It's so easy to get unselected.
Oh yeah.
You just sit down.
Oh yeah. You walk in there. Hey, I could pick a guilty guy out from a mile. And they'll
all you gotta do is look their eyes, man. They're real shifty eyed. Look, you kind of look guilty. Next.
Yeah.
Or walk in there with, like your shirt on backwards or, something like that. It's easy, man. It really is.
Do we get it?
Just sit down and start answering questions before they ever ask them.
That's right.
Start spilling a bunch of information.
I
know who shot JFK. You guys want to know who shot JFK? I got it right here on my phone. Check it out. I can feel it. It's easy.
Have you ever had jury duty?
Nope.
I hadn't either, but I had a friend that had it.
Never been selected.
That sucks.
I never even got the card in the mail.
You're at their beck and call for all week that you're on.
If you get selected for the grand, you might be tied up for 6 months if you get like some high profile murder case, living in a freaking hotel room. No way. Got to hang out in a room with a bunch of strangers you don't know, trying to make friends. Negative.
Tell you what, getting a jury of your peers nowadays is pretty hard. It'd be pretty hard getting a jury of my peers.
Yeah, you walk in there and go, "You guys know what chemtrails are?" No,
that's right.
They ain't my peers.
That's right.
They don't know. They ain't my peers, man.
Speaking of chemtrails, so we'll go ahead and get off the politics part.
Right on.
Do you have any comments on the snow?
I've been watching those videos all day long today, dude. And I passed you a couple last night, I
know.
And they talked about it, on Ground Zero last night with Clyde Lewis. He spent about 3 hours on it talking about it. I gotta tell you, from what I've seen, there is a difference in the snow. Now, I haven't picked up any and tried to set it on fire. I don't have any snow in my yard anymore. We haven't had any for weeks and weeks. But when we did have snow here, I noticed that it felt funny when you would pick it up with your bare hands and you would make a snowball and you would throw it. When you got done, your hands felt funny. They felt tacky. They didn't feel like they were wet. You see where I'm going with that?
Yes.
They felt chemically tacky, like you've been playing with different stuff. So
I'll go out and play with it when I'm done.
That's what I've noticed personally. Now, some of these videos, you can tell some of the people are completely full of shit, but some of the people are not. You know what I mean?
Well, the first one I saw, the person was holding a snowball with plastic tongs and then hitting it with a blowtorch and going, "I smell plastic." Well, yeah, you dumbass, you're melting your plastic tongs.
Right, yeah, some of them were. But, there was a couple of them, like one lady picked it up and she held a snowball right in her fireplace with a pair of cast iron tongs, and the snowball did not melt. It simply did not. It just shrunk in size, and she said it turned hard. So, there's other, and I saw this one video of this new chemical. I don't know if it's new or not, but it's this chemical. And if you put it in water, it can absorb 100 times its weight in water. And it turns into a snowy looking big bunch of shit. It says right in the freaking ad, right in the video, that they use it for fake snow.
Well, they make fake
it's used in snow machines. It's used in snow machines. But it's a chemical, dude. It's a chemical.
Well, so is it?
It's aerosolized. It can be.
Well, hold on now. Is it HARP? Chemtrails that's coming down. Hold on.
I don't know.
I got three choices. Fukushima shit that's in the air.
That's a gift.
Or the microscopic dust trail that we've been going through for the past 2 weeks of isons incoming to perihelion.
Right. It's a culmination, dude. I don't know. I don't know. I would think that if it was stardust, it would feel natural. You know what I mean? It wouldn't feel tacky. It would feel like grit or dirt or whatever. I would think that, if it was radiation, it would burn. I don't know about that one. I know that it makes Geiger counters go off all over the country when it falls.
It's interesting. We got up to 47 degrees today and we didn't have hardly any melting at all.
Imagine that. Because it doesn't melt, dude. It just freaking disappears. I'm telling you, it's not. Vapor. Yeah. It goes from a solid to a gas.
Sidewalk is dry too. It's interesting.
I'm just telling you, man. It's up to y'all. You can think I'm batshit crazy if you want to. I don't care. At this point in my life, I don't care. People think what they want to think. It's my hour. It's my mic. I say what I want to say. Because it's my truth, and I speak it without my voice shaking. So it tells you that I believe what I'm saying. There's something wrong with the snow this year. At least from what I've seen. At least in my yard. Maybe not in yours. I don't know. It's what I saw. It's what I felt. I didn't set my snow on fire. But it was different. First time in over 100 years that they got over 10 inches of snow in this area.
Yeah, the Atlanta one, from what I'm more reading about it, because you remember you and I were talking about it, and I said that those people that run the government ought to be shot. There's no way they should have gone to school or anything else. Well, apparently all the local news stations, all the local news stations, there was one channel that had it right, that said this is going to be the worst thing ever, but nobody else believed it because they've had so many false warnings and stuff like that, or crying wolf, if you will.
Even Reed Timmer was talking about Atlanta getting pounded days ahead of time on Facebook.
But apparently
all through the South. He said all the way from Louisiana to Virginia.
Yeah, but a lot of them weren't taking it easy because I'm listening to the government try to, cover their asses right now. And they're like, look, we didn't get the kind of warning that it was going to be like it was. They knew they were going to get a little bit, but it materialized and just formed.
Are you freaking kidding
really
me, man?
quick.
Where's the Weather Channel based out of? Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia. But, I don't know. But I heard them talking about it earlier, but apparently the Atlanta metro area.
Blame it on the citizens. It's y'all's fault. Pay more taxes.
But, apparently.
You know what they're going to do? They're going to bump the taxes in Atlanta, in city, so that they can go buy salt trucks and shit.
Yeah.
Plow trucks, get everything all equipped for the next round.
Yeah, it really screwed the airport up too because it had flights messed up for 3 days, 4 days.
Oh, poor TSA.
I think you sent me a link about some new storm coming next week.
Yeah,
more out in the Midwest. I think.
We're all the way up to like N
for storm names.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure. So ask the chat room. Chat room, what's the name of the next storm coming through? I think it's like Nadia or Nadidia or something.
Yeah, because the last one was just Leon. This one was Leon.
But I think they're also using the names as they're going across the Atlantic. When they get ready to slam into Europe, they're giving them a new name.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting because your insurance deductibles go way up once you hit a named storm also.
Right? If you're a victim.
Yeah, we found that out when Hurricane Isabel came through here. It was a named hurricane, obviously, and when it came through here, the winds never got above 59 miles an hour, but I was without power for 13 days because it tore us up because it rained 2 weeks before.
Mm-hmm.
But because it was a named storm, everybody was under hurricane deductibles instead, which are 3-4 times as much sometimes.
If you all of a sudden the government decides to put your area in a floodplain,
mm-hmm.
you're automatically required to buy flood insurance by the government, number one. And, your rates go sky high.
I could have a whole show about that because that just happened to us. They redrew our flood maps 4 months ago, and I've got clients that I'm refinancing, and they're just now finding out that they're in a flood zone, that FEMA has put them in a flood zone and requiring them to buy anywhere from $1,000 to a $3,000 a year policy, mandatory. That is happening right here, right now.
Wow.
And people are having to move out of their homes because they can't afford another $300 a month payment.
That's ridiculous, man.
It is awful.
I think they do that when they redraw maps and stuff like that. I think they do that as part of Agenda 21 to move the undesirables out of a location. They'll find out what the median income is. Yeah, they'll find out what the median income is in that particular area that they want to decide to take over. And then they change shit around. They'll change a floodplain map, or they'll change a business district map or whatever. They'll make it incorporated or, something like that makes the tax rates go up so that people can't afford to live there anymore and they have to move out. And then all of a sudden these nice little row houses get bought up by this real estate developer or whatever.
And Hunt did have a good point. You're only forced to buy flood insurance if you have a mortgage, because it's not FEMA that forces it upon you. It's your mortgage company that forces it upon you.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because if you don't have it and you flood, hey, no sweat off of their back because they're not kicking in.
Right.
Yep.
Right. That's true. Thanks for correcting me, Hunt. I appreciate it. Holy crap. We're down to the last 9 minutes. That hour went fast, actually. Mm-hmm. A lot faster than I thought it was going to go. Get off talking on stuff, and where's the time? I'm used to the 2 hours, though. I like my 2 hour shows. And tomorrow night, 3 hours tomorrow night, everybody. I don't know who all is going to come on with me, but I know Lance is going to be there. So
yeah, I'll come on with you.
If any of the other hosts want to chime in, hit me up on UCY. I don't know if we've still got the collective chat going, but I think it's still out there. Mm-hmm. Just hit that up on UCY and let me know you want to come on, and we'll make a good 3 hours of it tomorrow night for after the last cup. I'm actually going to go say hi to the room, everybody that's here. Billy Hayes, that's a new name I haven't seen. Cracker, good evening. Dan from Tennessee. Desert Hawk, Free the Sheeples in the room. I'm there, of course. Hecty's there. Good evening, Hecty. Ombre. Hunt, good evening. I just said hi to you a minute ago because you corrected me. Jax is in the room. JJ's there. Joe Friday. Jules. Mega Jules. You are the bright shining star of this network, and it would not be without you. Thank you for everything you do. Sorry, go ahead, Lance.
Oh, no, keep going. I said, yeah, isn't she?
Yeah. Doty's in the room. Good evening, Doty. SLC Mike, Salt Lake City, man. Good evening, Michael. And Mr. Vincent Easley. Two-stroke B. I wonder who that is. That might be Hammy. Two-stroke B. And then a big handful of nons tonight, actually. Wow, that's kind of unusual. 22 folks. Minus me and you.
Me. Yeah, you didn't mention me.
I didn't see you in there.
Oh, I'm not a signed in one. I just have a temporary name.
Oh. Were you an Anon?
No. FEMA Region 3.
I don't see no FEMA Region 3 in there, man.
Yeah, I just posted.
Did you?
Well, I'm in the chat Tango room. I'm not on UCY.
Oh, well. Hell, man. Are you some kind of Benedict Arnold or something?
Now, that thing, the music always plays when I click on it, and I can't shut it off fast enough, so I don't. That's why I do that.
All I gotta do is go up and hit mute, hit the play button, pause it. That's what I do.
That's right.
I'll teach you how, man. Oh, two-stroke blue smoke. All it has in the chat box is two-stroke B. Two-stroke blue smoke.
Blue
I know
smoke.
That's Hammy. Yeah, I know that's Hammy. Good evening, Hammy. Primer Time. That's a good show, man. I like Tuesday nights now. Tuesday nights with Primer Time, and then Prepper Chicks After Dark comes on after that one, and that's the conflicted game. They do the conflicted game on Tuesday night radio. Is really cool now. I really like it. I really, really like it.
Yep.
And I think JJ, I don't know if I'm supposed to squeak this out or not, but I think JJ is going to try to come back 3 days a week. He's going to be the off days from Mr. Kevin Blanche. Kevin Blanche is on before the first cup, Tuesdays and Thursdays, which is an excellent show. If you guys have missed that, you have missed a lot. But I think JJ was talking to me earlier today about trying to do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday before the first cup. Mm-hmm. So that would be excellent too. I'd like to see him back on the mic. Really miss JJ. So anyway, we got 5 minutes, man. Actually 4 minutes and 40 seconds because my clock's off from the base computer. Anything strike you that you want to talk about really quick for a couple minutes?
Yeah. Join a civic group. Join a Kiwanis club. Join a Rotary club. Join a Lions club. Join a Moose club. Something that gives back to your local community.
Join a motorcycle club.
Hey, motorcycle clubs do more around here for the communities than a lot of civic groups.
Yeah, bikers donate to more charities than any government agency ever.
If you're a biker, join a group, but it's so important to give back to the youth in your community because we're all fellow human beings. We're all in it together. That's why I do so much civic duty to my community. And I just implore everybody to
pulled up 597 the other day.
That was my highest one ever. My highest
597. He was 3 pins from a 600 series.
I've never had a 200 games in a match, so I'm doing that. But
tell me what your scratch is.
My scratch? Oh, I don't know. I have a 155 average or something like that, 160. It's not that good.
You almost doubled it.
Yeah. I got a new method I'm trying, and it worked.
Moving the lines. Got a bigger ball.
Same ball, but I did move the lines, and I throw it like I throw it like a baby doll right now. I just toss it down there just very easily.
I was always a straight line. I couldn't do the hook shit, man. I can't make that ball squirrel around and all that crap like they do in professional. I was always a straight line, slam them fuckers, man. Pow!
Yeah, no, I make it come in off that right gutter and slam right into the head pocket, but it's very slow.
I could do that, man.
Yeah, very slow when it does it, but man, it connects too.
There was a guy I used to hang with. I still got a couple minutes. I can throw this out there.
Yeah.
There was a guy I used to hang with in high school. His name was Ray Salinas. I'll never forget this guy. He was an awesome bowler. And he had this urethane ball called a hammer. And you just
have them.
Yeah, you just barely put your fingers in it. I mean, your thumb kind of buried into it a little bit, but you just barely cupped it with your fingers, man. And he could make that ball dance in a lane. It was amazing. That guy was I'm surprised he never went pro.
Well, and that's a fingertip grip where you have what's called a tweener. It's just a straight throw. Mm-hmm. And actually the tweener has a little bit of spin, so you're just a straight one, but, it's all in how you drill the holes in your ball and how much hook you get. That's really what does it.
Yeah. I really do. I enjoy bowling. I miss bowling. I haven't been bowling in a long, long, long time. And there's a set of lanes right up the road here. I might actually go out and try to knock some pins down one of these days.
Join a league. It's a good way to meet people. That's what I did.
Yeah. Yeah. I like throwing darts too. I like shooting pool. I used to be on a pool league back in the day. I used to be on a dart league back in the day. I'm pretty good at darts. I'm not too shabby at pool, but I've never, I'm not one of them kind that can run the table or nothing. But all right, man, 60 seconds. What else besides Kiwanis?
That's it. Get your canned goods.
Yeah. Go buy yourself a 5-pound bag of rice every once in a while. Just for hell of it. That store's a really long time. Maybe invest in a vacuum sealer. Stay tuned for Tuberville. He's up next.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. Thanks, Lance. We'll talk to you later. We'll see you guys tomorrow night for After the Last Cup. 9 Eastern. 5.